Entrepreneur, businessman, thank you, Dr. Khalid, for joining us. Dr. Lubna Naeem from San Antonio. She is a past trader and General Secretary of APNA. Thank you, Dr. Naeem, for joining us. Dr. Rizwan Khalid. Dr. Rizwan Khalid is an intervention cardiologist joining us from Dallas, Texas. He is past president of APNA. Thank you, Dr. Khalid, for joining us. Dr. Baba Rao. He is a dermatologist, a professor at Cornell. He is a founding president of Rawalpindi Medical College alumni. Thank you, Dr. Rao, for joining us. Dr. Noman Ashraf, joining us from Joplin, Missouri. He is a program director of addiction and psychiatry program, and also the chair of YPC, Young Physician Committee, APNA. Thank you, Dr. Noman, for joining us. Dr. Sadiq Naveed. He is joining us from Connecticut. He is the past president of Nishtar alumni, current member of Election and Nomination Committee. He is a program director of psychiatry program in Connecticut. Dr. Sajid Mahmood. Dr. Sajid he got newly elected board member with me. He is joining us from Chicago. He is a pulmonary critical care attending. And thank you, Sabah Babi, for joining us also. They're both joining us from Chicago. Dr. Amir Ehsan from San Antonio. He's a pathologist, mashallah, big entrepreneur and businessman, and he's a newly elected president for Dogana Dow alumni. Thank you, Dr. Ehsan, for joining us. Dr. Nusram Iqbal. Dr. Nusram Iqbal is joining us from San Diego, California. He is the past president of Allama Iqbal alumni. Thank you, Dr. Iqbal, for joining us. Dr. Usman is also joining us from Joplin, Missouri. He is a PE's gastroenterologist. And also, we have some House representative locally from joining us. I will just go one by one. Chris Need is a good friend of ours. He's joining us with his wife, Joy, and he is from Fort Gibson, Oklahoma. And he is the chair of House Insurance Committee. Thank you, Chris, for joining us. With him are joining Representative Ronnie Jones, with his wife Renee from Ada, Oklahoma. He is the chair of House Transportation Committee. Thank you, Ron, for joining us. Republican Mark Van Kuren with his wife Sheila. He is joining us from Ovasta, Oklahoma. He is the vice chair of the House Common Education Committee. With these, I'm pretty sure I'm missing many names, but I really appreciate everyone from my Oklahoma committee and also from my Optimum Care team. There's a lot of hospitals are joining us, from House Representative and APNA leadership, Central APNA leadership. And I don't want to forget one important name, that is Dr. Heaton. She is joining us from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and she is president of Oklahoma State Medical Association. Thank you, Dr. Heaton, for joining us. And I don't want to prolong my speech. Again, from my beautiful wife, my family, myself, we appreciate everyone for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sanaullah. So we encourage everybody to become a member of Oklahoma State Medical Association. We are watching you. So important thing is, all politics is local. So if you can make a local effect, you can make any effect. If you don't have any local presence, you literally don't exist. Remember that. So let's keep on working on that. Now I'd like to invite one of the leaders of this community, and you'd know, before I even ask him to come, he's a little energizer bunny. He leads the way and usually goes way ahead of his army. Very nice, kind-hearted cardiologist who has too much energy. Dr. Naeem Tahir Kheli.
I'm not sure why Sanaullah asked me to speak, but I think one of the things I want all of the people who know me to notice how important this event is. Everybody makes fun of me being in scrubs all day, every meeting that we go to or every conference, or I'm in my hoodie. So I'm actually suited for Sanaullah's walima, should we say. So what Sanaullah wanted me to talk about was the Oklahoma way. So our guests, thank you very much for coming. But for our Oklahoma City people, Oklahoma, Tulsa people, you can see that there's most of the hierarchy of upnight is here. For a small city or a small state to have that presence and importance, Sanaullah wanted me to talk about how that happens. I think if you want to define how that happens, the way we work with this situation is we celebrate each other's success. So what does that mean? It means if somebody is successful, we celebrate him or her. We're envious, but we're not jealous. What does that mean? Well, envious means we like it and we want to do the same thing and even go a step beyond. Jealous means we don't like it, or even if we like it, we hate it because it's somebody else and we want to negate that person. We're not jealous of each other, we're envious and celebrate each other. And I think that's part of the thing. So how does that work? You take a guy like Dr. Iftikhar from Tulsa or Asim Chauhan from Oklahoma City. They're most accomplished, probably have more money than most of us, and they should be leaders. But they decide that they're not going to be leaders, but they're going to let younger folks take the stage and then work through them the agenda of inclusion, agenda of helping other people, helping people back in Pakistan, helping people in Oklahoma City, engaging politicians to basically let them know that we are citizens here, we're very, very useful citizens, and we are engaged in this city. Then you take a guy like Salman Zubair back there, who probably has more money than all of us together, and is a very, very successful physician. But he makes sure that he is never, ever in a limelight, and he's always there for everyone, but celebrates everybody else. He celebrates all of us and all of our successes. So, and then when you get all through that, then you get a Fazl Akbar Ali. And you give him a blueprint for doing something. You say, okay, just do this thing. You get a Sanaullah and say, Harun Durrani just told you that you're going to do an Apna Spring meeting. You get these guys together, give them a little blueprint, and pretty much you have the biggest, most accomplished thing ever. And that's how Oklahoma way is. We celebrate. How do we stay together? You get a Fahad, you get a Saman Jamshed, and you get a bunch of other people and who decide we're going to have a cricket tournament. And what is that cricket tournament? Well, you can only play if you're married. Okay? And once you play, it doesn't matter if you're good or bad, especially if you're really bad, you have to play. So Dr. Tahir Kheli and Dr. Amr Hamid have to play. But our kids are involved and the families are involved and there's a whole draft. There's TikToks and Instagrams made of the teams. We roast each other and then we all get together and play this cricket tournament with a proper commentary with all our families, kids and wives there, and we celebrate each other. We argue and we celebrate each other. Then we get a Riyaz Sirajuddin. He puts his own money and makes rents big halls. and we have karaoke tournaments. Every one of us who does not know how to sing goes and sings. And we make fun of each other, we roast each other, we enjoy each other's company. Then we get a Tarak Sitar. He says, come over to my house this night and we're going to play cards. And there's a whole tournament and it's all set up and we're playing cards and having food and just having fun with each other. And on and on. All that on, there is a background to it. Apna is here, our presidents, Taqir and Muzaffar and Faisal Wasi and now Rabia starting next year. They're coordinating and making sure that we are engaged with the local community. So there's free healthcare clinics, there's interfaith stuff, and there's taking care of indigent patients and everything else. But then it just morphs into even a bigger thing. The people who are supporting all of us are our ladies, are our spouses. So there's a Sadia Chauhan and a Rahat Tahir Kheli who's always sitting over there and telling Asim Chauhan and Nimtar Kheli, don't take yourself too seriously. You don't know anything. So, and then there's Sadia Salman, who has the gumption of, you all know this, doing a CPR for 9 minutes on her husband and make sure that he survives in there. Last week, I had a patient in the hospital walking and she had a cardiac arrest. Our own staff resuscitated her and she did not make it. She ended up having a brain death. And Sadia Salman did this at home by herself and made sure this happened. You have a Huria, you have a Saima, you have a Aisha Sattar. They're leading us, they're helping us, and that's how the Oklahoma City way and Oklahoma way happens. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Naim, right? So that's celebratory. We celebrate each other and that is the secret. That is how we keep together and this community has grown. Now, having said that, Sadia Wabi, kudos to you, really. A question for you guys. How many of your spouses will save you CPR for 9 minutes? That's a good question. Some may give up after 3 minutes. Okay, it's done. So love your spouses. You may need the CPR at any moment, okay? Okay, that's important. Okay, now we will be calling in the gentleman who gave Oklahoma City the show to show its potential. The ex-president of Apna, Dr. Harun Durrani.
Good evening, everyone. I've been given 2 minutes, and out of that 1 minute I want to use, there are guests who have been hearing the word Apna, but most likely they don't know too much about Apna, so I'm going to say just a few words about. So Apna stands for All Pakistani Physicians of North American Descent. According to ALA estimates, there are somewhere between 18,000 and 20,000 physicians in the United States serving their communities. Apna is the largest professional organization of Pakistanis outside Pakistan and the second largest ethnic professional organization in the United States after API, which is the counterpart of the Indian physicians. Apna, in addition to all the educational stuff through Merit and RESA committees and other committees which we do, we also do a lot of philanthropic work. There are a couple of things I want to mention that Apna has done in the recent past. Last year, there was devastating floods in Pakistan. We raised and we built about 500 homes for Pakistani flood victims. And we built them and we gave it to the people in Pakistan. One of the flagship projects that Apna does is that we supply corneas. We send corneas to Pakistan. And as of now, we have sent over 6,000 corneas, and 6,000 people have been blessed with the sight. That is, I think, the biggest present anyone can give to anyone. And whenever disaster strikes anywhere within the United States or Pakistan, Apna is there, always trying to help as much as you can. Having said all that, we are celebrating today the seedling which we planted last year in the form of spring meeting that we asked this chapter to hold. And that meeting, which is Sanaullah was the chair, and Dr. Naeem Haley and everyone, I am going to misname, so everyone who, this whole state became like a one community. And they did a wonderful, phenomenal job, which has never happened before in the history of Apna. The spring meeting is going to go into the archives of Apna as the most attended and most profitable spring meeting in Apna's history. Sanaullah demonstrated leadership role throughout this, and Oklahoma State all of a sudden has become a powerhouse in the politics of Apna. And you can see that today 5 past presidents of our Apna are in the attendance today. Oklahoma chapter has played a very pivotal role in electing Sanaullah. And I think the way things are going, it is going to keep on play that powerhouse role. And I think the name of the game is, there are so many physicians over here, and if you want to really have an effect, all of you need to become members of Apna. So thank you very much, Sanaullah and Shasta Bhabi, for inviting us. It's wonderful to meet everyone again. Thank you very much. आखिर में एक सनाउल्लाह जिंदाबाद का नारा लगा देते हैं. सनाउल्लाह जिंदाबाद.
Thank you. We have been hearing about Apna, so our local chapter is here. So I just wanted to have Dr. Faisal Wasi, who just came in late as always, but where is he? Dr. Faisal. Yes, wait, so he's the president of Apna local chapter for Tulsa. And for the next 2 years, our president-elect, Dr. Rabia Nusrat, where are you? Please stand up. So everybody can see, we have a lady leading us for the next 2 years. Now I'd like to invite another ex-president of Apna, who has come from far and away. And he is a very kind, soft-spoken person. I've seen him with the same smile for the last 3 years. Dr. Asif Mahmood. Mohyuddin, sorry. He is a man of a few words, and he actually is going to be a president. He is president-elect, and he is going to be the president of Apna next year. You shouldn't be this soft-spoken, sir.
Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for the introduction. He made me ex immediately. Haven't even started yet. That's Oklahoma way, I guess. So, as Dr. Durrani has introduced Apna, we are an association of physicians of Pakistani descent of North America. And we are very proud of our association. As you can see, we have many presidents here. And Sana, I got to know him through the spring meeting actually. And I saw his leadership qualities, and I really wanted him to be part of the BOD that I will be representing next year. So welcome to the board of directors. There is been a talk of Apna being his second wife. So, Bobby, here I am. So, you'll be dealing with me for a long time, for the whole 2024. You'll be dragging me to meetings for a long time at night, so I apologize in advance. But we love Sana, and the proof is all here. 5 presidents, professor from Cornell, DOD from Chicago, our General Secretary, and all of you. So we really love Sana. Thank you so much for having us here.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. No. So, the President of Apna. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a fine evening and we have so much still, okay? So, first thing is, dinner is ready. So, half of the people of this side line up civilly, and then half of the people on this side, we are going to start our dinner, and then there is music, so don't eat too much.
I know. I go.